So we're going to get started as we often do in a seated position. So you can find your way to your mat or whatever you'll be sitting on. Doesn't matter how you're sitting. You can sit cross-legged, you can sit on a chair, you can sit on a blanket, pillow, whatever is going to feel best for you. And before you kind of fidget too much or adjust your breath or adjust your back or adjust your chest, just kind of let yourself arrive as you are. However you're showing up here in this moment is exactly as you need to be. So no need to change the way your breath is, no need to change your posture. Let's just settle into our seat exactly as we are. And then after you've taken a moment to kind of just take an initial check-in with yourself, you can start to make any adjustments, maybe moving the sitting bones a little bit and sitting back down, maybe lengthening the spine up, and maybe starting to encourage your breath to be a little bit slower, to feel some stretch and length in your inhales and your exhales. And whatever fidgets or adjustments you are making, see if you can start to rest into whatever your seat looks like. And I'll invite you to start to notice your back body. So we often live through our front bodies, especially the amount of time that we spend on Zoom, looking at ourselves, looking at other people's faces, kind of lurching forward, curling forward into our keyboards. We often have this kind of forward-facing, forward-moving part to us that dominates. And I've been trying to encourage myself lately to notice my back more and the whole backside of my body that is actually really important and supportive for everything that I do. And sometimes gets lost in all of the kind of forward moving energy and the sensory experience of the world is often looking forward, hearing forward, reaching forward. So see if you can take a couple of breaths settling into your whole back body. And so maybe that looks like actually shifting a little bit of your weight backwards. Maybe that looks like remembering what's behind you physically and sensing the air, your skin meeting the air behind you, the wall, whatever's on the wall behind you. And then as you feel the up and down energy of your breath, see if you can feel that in your spine, visualizing your breath moving, traveling up and down your spine rather than your chest and your belly. So as you inhale, really filling up the space between the shoulders, feeling your breath rise from the base of your spine all the way up through your thoracic spine, into your neck, your cervical spine, shoulder blades filling up. And then your exhale relaxes your shoulders and your breath drains down your back, emptying your lungs. Take a few slow breaths like that, visualizing the filling up of your back body and the emptying out with your exhales. And then as those breaths feel complete, you're welcome to keep your eyes closed or your gaze nice and soft. We're gonna bring the palms together and just start to gently rub the palms. So as you do this, you might start to hear a sound. And the sound might get a little louder as you rub your palms a little bit quicker. And as that sound travels through your ears and your body, you might start to feel some warmth building. And then keep rubbing the palms faster and faster, really feeling that warmth. Maybe your arms start to move. And then when we release, don't release quite yet, but when we release our palms, we're gonna bring them to our kidneys. And your kidneys are your lower back on each side, left and right. So we're gonna rub, 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 feel that warmth. And then release, separate the palms, bring your palms to your lower back, over your kidneys. And let your breath flow. Feel that connection to your back body. Feel the maybe slight vibration of your hands. And then tuck the chin towards the chest and let your head kind of rest downward a little bit, releasing the neck. I recently learned that in Chinese medicine, the kidneys are often thought of as kind of your pilot light, like the light or the energy in your body that's always there, even if it's just lit slightly. It's always burning. So as your hands rest here on your kidneys, see if you can feel that connection to the little flame inside you that's always there. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth together. Release the palms from your kidneys. Let's switch the cross of our legs, and if you need to, take a moment to straighten your legs and just bring a little movement. It bends into your knees. You can do that. It can be a long time to keep our legs crossed if your legs are crossed, so you need to take that moment to relieve them. You're welcome to. And then we'll find that opposite cross of the legs. Maybe it might take a moment to remember which is the opposite side. Once you're there, we're gonna just start to rotate our wrists. So really simple movement. Your gaze can just be soft in front of you. Start to move the wrists however they want to move. Maybe you start to bring some movements of the fingers into your wrist circles. And maybe just kind of switch the directions as you go, not getting too attached to any kind of continuous motion of the wrists, but just letting them kind of move around randomly, all the while breathing. And then start to slow down the movement of the wrists. Let your palms face down and come to rest on your knees, nice and slow. We'll take some rotations of the shoulders towards the back. So we'll do this nice and slow, and as you kind of rotate the shoulders forward, you're getting in touch with your back body as you're caving inward slightly. And then you're bringing your shoulders up by your ears, and then you're releasing them down your back, reaching your heart slightly forward. So we'll take a few of these slowly, focusing on the way that it feels to glide your shoulders through the air. The way that it feels to encourage circular movement. And then we'll switch directions. So this time your shoulders will curl forward, kind of caving through the back body. And then they'll move towards the back, reaching the heart forward and continuing in that opposite direction. And let's take another collective breath, and this time letting your exhale make a little bit of sound as you release it. So continuing this rotation of the shoulders. Let's take a nice inhale through the nose, feeling that whole back body fill up with air. And then open your mouth and make some sound. Keep exhaling. You can bring the shoulders to stillness. And let's gently clasp the hands behind our backs. And tugging the heart gently forward, perhaps releasing the head back. Opening the throat. Inhale here. And then exhale, release the clasp of the hands and slowly guide them out and then all the way in front of you, and start to feel yourself kind of caving inward. You're bringing your hands to clasp in front of you, and you can either have your knuckles out towards the screen, or you can flip them so your palms are out towards the screen. And then tuck your chin towards your chest. Feel the expansion of your back body here. And the kind of closing in of your front body. Start to separate the fingers from each other. Let the palms come to rest by your side. Taking your time to transition, we're going to find our way to all fours. So keeping in mind that moving from one part of class to the next is not just empty space, but it's also part of the mindfulness, and it's probably the easiest part to miss or want to skip naturally. We're going to find our way to all fours. So your shoulders are just about over your wrists and your hips are just about over your knees. And we're going to start by reaching our left arm up towards the ceiling. So you're grounding down through your right palm. You're inhaling to expand the chest, spiral the chest towards the left. And then exhale, release the left hand down. Take that same spiraling open towards the right this time. And release. Once again, spiral open towards the left arm reaches towards the ceiling. And then this time we'll do a little thread the needle, so we'll bring that left arm under the right. And if this doesn't work for you, you're welcome to just stay in that first version. But if you'd like to try, you can bring that left arm under the right and drop the left shoulder all the way to the mat. Stay here for 3 full breaths, and then you can bring yourself out. And as you bring yourself out, you'll push strongly through that right hand. You'll expand the left side body once more, spiraling open and then releasing left hand. We'll move through that on the right side. So inhale to rise your right arm up. And then exhale, if it's available to you, thread that right arm underneath the left. Drop the right shoulder, the right cheek. Three full breaths. And then on your own time, start to release, extending right arm up once more. And then right hand comes to the mat. We're back in all fours. And then we're gonna widen out our knees. So we're setting up for a child's pose. You can let your toes come to touch. Sink your hips back towards your heels. Release, head, chin, chest, down to the mat. And as you settle into your child's pose, again, bring your attention to your back body. It's natural to focus here on what is making contact with the mat, which is our front body, our forehead, our chest. But see if you can notice that kind of mysterious part of your back body where the breath fills up, expanding the lower back. Maybe even feeling into your hips as you breathe. And then letting the breath expand the upper part of your back, creating some space between the shoulder blades. And you'll stay in your child's pose for about another minute or so, and you're welcome to just stay and keep breathing as you are. I'll also count you through a breath count of 4 in inhale, and then holding for 4 counts at the top, and then a count of 4 for the exhale, and then holding for 4 counts at the bottom. So we'll start by emptying all of our air out, exhaling, pushing, emptying, and then inhale for 2, 3, 4, hold for 2, 3, 4, exhale for 2, 3, 4, hold for 2, 3, 4, inhale for 2, 3, 4, hold for 2, 3, 4, exhale for 2, 3, 4. And keep counting like this a few more times on your own. If 4 counts is too much or too little, you can adjust for yourself. And then release the focus on counting your breath, and we'll start to walk our hands off towards the right. And so walking your hands off to the right, your forehead will follow, and you'll start to feel a bit of a stretch through the left side from your hip crease to your fingertips. And take a few slow breaths here. Start to gently crawl your hands over towards the left this time, finding that opposite side bend. Sorry about that sound. Come back through center and then find your way to all fours, taking your time. You've been in child's pose for a little bit. And as you arrive in all fours, you can just start to take any movements that feel good. So We've had our knees bent for a while, so perhaps that is straightening one leg at a time. Perhaps that is lengthening one arm at a time. Perhaps that's taking some cat-cows, some hip circles, noticing what it is that your unique body is asking for. And then we'll all start to peel our left knee up off the mat, and we'll find some hip circles. So we've done circles with our wrists and our shoulders. Notice how it feels to be circling the hip joint. And these can be really small if you prefer that, or they can be really big and wide. And then switching directions whenever you'd like. And then transitioning to the other side, peeling that right knee off, finding some circles. You might experience some cracks in the hip as you do this. And you can think of that as a release, creating some more space in the hip. And switching the other direction as you feel ready. And then bring that right knee down. Let's take a couple of lion's breaths here. So we'll inhale together, and then when you exhale, you're gonna open up your whole mouth and stick your tongue out. You can close your eyes if you want to as well. Even if you're alone, sometimes it feels more like no one's looking at you if you close your eyes. But we'll start with a nice deep inhale, feeling lungs fill up, feeling back body fill up. And then open your mouth, exhale. Once more, and notice the heat that comes out as you exhale. We'll take a deep inhale through the nose. Filling up a little bit more. And then lion's breath out. We're gonna reach our right leg back behind us, flexing that right foot. And then we're gonna gently glide the knee forward until our right foot comes between our hands. And we're gonna inhale your arms up, 10 fingers reaching towards the ceiling, and you're framing your face here. Let's reach up towards the ceiling and then settle your hips and your shoulders. Find a little bit of balance. Be here for 2 more rounds of breath. And your next exhale will bring your hands down, framing that foot. Bring your right knee back underneath your right hip, and then extend your left leg back, straightening out from the left hip, flexing the left foot. Feel that length from hip all the way out through the heel. Inhale. And then exhale, glide the knee forward. You're stepping your left foot between your hands. And maybe you can do it a little softer than I just did. We're gonna inhale, root down through the left foot as you sweep your arms up. Inhale, feel crown of head, 10 fingers rise. Exhale, feel your shoulders and your hips settle. 2 full rounds of breath here. Next exhale, we'll glide your palms down, framing your foot. Bring that left knee back under your left hip. And we're gonna find a quick downward dog just to transition into standing. But you'll root down through both hands, particularly your thumb and your index finger. You're gonna tuck your toes underneath you, and pushing down through your toes, lift your knees up off the mat and shift your hips up and back. Find a brief moment of rest in your downward dog, and then start to walk the feet towards the hands. And find yourself in a forward fold. And truly release the head and the neck here. So you might notice that you're kind of holding your head up without realizing it. If you are, just see if you can really release and feel the weight of the head down. You can find a slight bend of the knees. And in addition to the heaviness of the head, notice the heaviness of the arms, starting at the shoulders and moving through the elbows, moving through the wrists. Release the back teeth from each other, letting the jaw experience this heaviness and resting into gravity. And keeping this sense of releasing the shoulders, the arms, the head, the neck, the jaw, we're gonna slowly start to roll through the spine all the way up to stand. But take it really slow, noticing your back body kind of unfolding and connecting as you rise up. And at the very last moment, you can bring your arms and your head back in line with your body. Take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, start to reverse that. So you're going to tuck the chin in towards the chest. Feel the heaviness in the arms again. And start to roll all the way back down. Once you reach kind of the edge of your forward fold where you're resting heavily and not folding anymore, you can start to come back up just as slow as you came down. Noticing any tendencies to speed up. Remembering that there's really nothing else to do here besides be in our bodies. Take a nice inhale at the top. And then as you exhale, we'll do one more of these, taking your time, and we'll all meet standing. And then being careful not to rush yourself to come back to stand, but once you find yourself there, you can check that your feet are about the distance of your hips apart. And your arms, you can shake them out for a moment and then just let them rest by your side. We're going to bring our hands together in front of our chest and start to rub them together, building that heat, that energy. Letting the sound of that friction flow through us. And then release, let the palms come to make contact with the kidneys again. Allow the eyes to close or the gaze to be soft. And the breath to flow easefully. And stay here for about 5 more breaths as you count, feeling your inhale fill up your back and feeling your exhale kind of drain and empty. After you finish that 5th breath, release the hands, open the eyes. Going to shift our weight to our left leg. Start to rise the right knee up towards the chest. And leave a little bit of bend in that standing left leg. You're welcome to stay here, or if you'd like to find a tree pose, bring the sole of your right foot to your inner left thigh or calf. Your toe could even be gently touching the ground for some extra balance. Palms can come to meet at the center of your chest or extend tall like branches. Let's take one breath together, exhaling all the way out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let some sound out. Start to release the right foot down. Shift your weight gently side to side. And then eventually finding that other side, shifting your weight all the way into your right leg, keeping a slight bend. Rising your left knee up towards your chest. Staying here or letting the sole of your left foot come to meet your inner right thigh or calf. And again, taking any position of the hands that feels good. Let's empty all of our air out. Invite some fresh new air as you inhale. And exhale, let some sound out. Gently release that left leg. Let it come down to meet the earth and shift your weight from one leg to the next. We're going to find a couple of horse poses before we come down to the mat. So you're going to widen your feet out. If they were at hips distance, they're going to come a couple of steps out to each side. You can experiment here. But we're going to bring our toes to a diagonal. So your toes are kind of pointing to the corners of the mat. And we're going to inhale to sweep our arms up overhead. And keep the legs straight and just bend at the elbows. Find a cactus shape of the arms. So you're exhaling, creating these goalpost-like arms. Inhale, reach the arms up. One more like that. Exhale, cactus arms, drag elbows down. Inhale, reach the arms up. This time, as you bend the elbows, we're also going to bend the knees, sinking into the hips. So let's exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees, sink hips down. Pause here. Let's shift our weight slightly into our back bodies. And then inhale, rise up, reach up. Straight arms, straight legs. Inhale. Exhale, bend everything. Sink down, exhale. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, this time just spread the arms wide. Release them down by your side. You can kind of toe heel the feet back towards each other. And then we'll sweep our arms up once more. Inhale. Exhale, spread the arms wide. Come all the way down, forward fold. Feel that heaviness of the head, neck, shoulders, wrists. And we'll plant the palms, come down to a seat. Before we come all the way onto our backs, we'll take another moment in a seat. So just as we started, kind of arrive however you're arriving without too much judgment. Letting the breath be however it wants to be. Letting the body rest however it wants to rest. And for a couple of minutes, we'll take that 4-count breath again. So we'll start at the bottom of our exhale. And we'll inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Continue on your own, noticing, breathing, being with whatever is here. And if your eyes are closed, you can gently open them. We're going to start to make our way onto our backs. So you can do whatever you need to do to set yourself up to be comfortable on your back. Perhaps you'd like to support your head with a blanket or cover yourself up for warmth with a blanket. You can extend your legs long, relax your feet, let them flop off to the sides. Relax your arms away from your body. Start to feel a sense of ease and stillness wash over you, starting at the crown of your head and gently relaxing all down your face, your neck, your shoulders, your spine, your heart, your pelvis, your thighs, knees, calves, ankles, toes. And taking a deep breath in and then exhale to feel everything melt a millimeter closer towards the earth. As you rest here, I have a quote to share with you. This is from the Tao Te Ching. 30 spokes share the hub of the wheel, yet it is the center that makes it useful. You can mold clay into a vessel, yet it is the emptiness that makes it useful. Cut doors and windows from the wall of a house, but the ultimate use of the house will depend on the part where nothing exists. Therefore, something is shaped into what is, yet its usefulness comes from what is not. Start to feel your back on the floor. Start to feel your breath filling the front of your heart, the back of your heart, emptying out on your exhale. Notice your fingers and your toes and bring some movement. And then eventually hug both of your knees in towards your chest. And take a couple of rocks along the spine. And then eventually rock all the way off to one side. And take a moment to pause there, feeling the support of yourself curling inward. And then push yourself all the way up to a seat. You're welcome to keep your gaze nice and soft or your eyes closed. Without trying to fidget or change yourself, just take some final moments in stillness, however you are. And we'll close with 3 deep breaths together. So let's empty our lungs out. Deep breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Deep breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Deep breath in through the nose. This time sigh it out. Let's build a little heat one last time, creating some friction between our palms, rubbing back and forth, fostering that pilot light, that inner light that is always shining somewhere inside of us. And feeling the warmth between your palms, speed it up a tiny bit. And then you can either let your palms be still in front of your chest or make some contact with your heart or your stomach or your kidneys. Bow your chin in towards your chest and take a final moment of gratitude for being here. You made the choice to be here. It was the choice that you made. And you can send yourself some appreciation for taking the time to slow down. And thanks everyone for showing up, and it was great to see you and meet those of you that haven't been in class with me.